welcome back to the last tray build video. First of all, I just want to address the elephant in the room. Obviously, I'm in a bigger shed, but we'll touch base about that in just a second. So I really want to thank all of you guys that have commented on my YouTube and messaged me on YouTube and Instagram asking all about the tray. I know there's a few of you that have been waiting a while for this video, and I'm sorry. I will talk to you about that in a second, why it took so long. But yeah, we're here now. I'm making the video and there's more videos to come, so stick around. All right, so why I'm in a bigger shed. So this is my new shed, guys. I have moved houses. Now, yous don't know what happened, and I don't really like talking about it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of background on why I've moved, why I'm in this shed now, and why it's taken me so long to do this video, and why the tray build actually took so long. So back at my old house, during this tray build video, I went out for dinner one night at my sister-in-law's house. We got back and a pretty bad incident occurred as we got back to the house, where I was pretty seriously injured. I actually got stabbed twice at my own house. So my missus and my kid was there. So we decided that it was time to pack up from that place. I'm not going to go into detail about who it was or anything else. It's just that I was injured, and this is just what happened, and this is why I'm here now. So pretty much when the incident happened, I did get that last tray build video out for yous. I was off work for a while. Pretty lucky to be alive, actually. And yeah, so we decided to just pack our things and move somewhere else. And obviously it's kind of turned out for the better, because I'm in a bigger shed, which means more videos, bigger projects, and heaps more tools to fill this shed, hopefully. But yeah, so the reason why from that video, that last tray build video, to now, why it's taken so long, is because I've been trying to do a few things around the house. For those of you that don't know, I do carpentry for work. So I've been trying to make this house a little bit more secure, and it is far away from where we used to be. So it does feel much safer, and it is a much quieter area, and we are actually loving it out here. But anyway, enough of that sob story. I don't want to bore you guys too much with it. Let's jump into this video. All right, so just quickly before we get into the tray, I wanted to thank you all for subscribing. We're almost at 1,000 now. Not too long ago, I remember getting to the 500 mark and talking about it as well. I really didn't think that I would really get here, but you know, if it wasn't for you guys and your comments and liking the video and stuff, I wouldn't be doing it, because there'd be no point in doing it if no one was interested in it. So thanks guys, I'm glad that I help yous and yous help me by subscribing. So remember to subscribe to the channel. Now about the shed. So it hasn't been really that long. As I did mention, I've been trying to do stuff around the property to make it more secure and feel more like home. But this is probably the best part about it. So this shed is a 6 by 13.5. So we currently do store the cars in it. Eventually this will just be for tools and projects, for like on the car and stuff. But yeah, we've got all tool storage and stuff up the back. That is the next project. If you guys can't guess what it is, it's pretty obvious, but that will be coming really soon. So this first half obviously is cars. I do have the linisher here and the drill press, a couple of other, all my tools, all my socket set and everything over there. And then we walk around this side, around the back of the car. This is pretty much empty space. I got some bits and pieces of projects for the house. So over here, I pretty much want to set up the metal saw, on the conveyor rollers and stuff, but be able to switch it from metal saw station to timber station to use it just as as I'm doing the house up as well. So yeah, this is a pretty big achievement for us. We probably wouldn't have been able to do this if it wasn't for COVID, upgrading our house and getting a bigger shed and bigger land. So I look forward to more videos, filming more videos here. And yeah, so enough blabbering on about the shed and my life. Let's get into the tray. So pretty much we'll start at the front on this side. Now you'll notice that I do have a King Chrome toolbox. As I said before, I do carpentry for work, so I've got to keep some of my tools on the car at all times. So that's the toolbox. So we'll start with maybe the dimensions of the tray. So the tray is a 1775 wide. Now, if you did watch the other videos, I made this to suit a canopy that I'm getting or may have got already, hint. So yeah, 1770 wide by 1550 long. And it's also suited pretty much for a 1500 long canopy. I didn't want to go longer because I do like the shorter trays, and you know, it gives you more approach angle and more clearance and everything underneath. So that extra 50 mil is pretty much, you'll see when I start doing the canopy build why I did a 50 mil longer. It's pretty much to support a spare wheel. You'll understand when I do the canopy video. Also, the height of the tray is from the top of the deck height, top of the tray height, it is 850. Also done the double taper. Now this angle here, I've made it to suit the canopy angle, except for obviously this second taper up here. That's just going to kind of cut the corner off of the canopy, which I was happy with. I'm not going to go paying someone to build a custom canopy. As much as it looks good, and I've seen it done before, it does look freaking awesome, but you know, I'm just trying to make this as cheap as possible for me and let you guys know. Obviously, that's what this build's about, letting you guys know the price and what you can do it for and everything like that. Righto, so let's jump onto some material sizes, thicknesses, and all that goodness. So we'll start with all the bigger stuff. So this back bar and the headboard bars or bar is 75 by 50 mil. Now I'll let you know this is all 3 mil alley except for the main supports down underneath. So the whole tray except for the supports that hold it to the chassis is all 3 mil. So this is 75 by 53 mil, and all this stuff here is 75 by 53 mil. This tube section here for this V-brace that doesn't do much but looks fucking sick, that is 50 mil tube. Now that is 50 mil OD. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's close. Well, it's 50 mil or close to. Now I'm not sure what it is for nominal bore or however you want to order it, but yeah, it's 50 mil OD. Now the sheet metal is also 3 mil for anyone that wanted to know that. I was gonna go 4 mil, but for what I'm using it for and the canopy is gonna be going on it, I don't think I need it 3 mil. But if you're gonna be chucking stuff on it and treating it like a tray, I probably would upgrade to 4 mil being alley. That's my personal preference. If it was steel, there's no way you'd be going 4 mil or maybe even 3 mil steel, because steel's way tougher than alley. Now, hopefully going through the tray like this, I don't miss anything, but I'll try and get everything. There's not that much to it, really. It's just material dimensions. Now I have got it in my phone, a few questions that you guys have asked me, pretty much common questions that I've had a few people ask me about, and hopefully I'll just cover everything in this video. But if I don't, also leave me a comment down below or message me on Instagram and I'll reply. I try and reply to everyone's messages and so on. So as we come down to the back of the tray, all these around the light surrounds is all that 70 by 50, and I just like stitch welded a plate pretty much right like so it's recessed into here so it protects the lights. So if you look from the side, the lights are kind of recessed in there, so if I ever reversed into anything, it would protect them a little bit. That's all 75 by 50 all the way along here. Now while we are down the back, we will touch base on the lights. So these lights are from Oz LED. They are, I think they're the 355 series lights. These are I think it's called sequential lights or whatever. So the indicator does like strobe across. Now, when I first bought these lights, I was going to wire them up myself, but you need like resistors and everything and all the wiring. Now, Oz LED, where I got these from, they do make a plug and play wiring harness for these lights. So that includes your number plate lights and everything. So I highly recommend you guys get the plug and play system. Obviously, I bought all the accessories, so I knew all the dimensions before I even started building the tray, not realizing that the tray was going to take so long. So by the end of it, I ended up buying the wiring harness because I could not be stuffed doing the wiring for the lights. I just wanted to get this thing on my car. So yeah, pretty much I might put links of everything that I've bought in the description. So if you just want to just go down there and click on that, it'll be easier. You just click on that, it'll pop up and show you pretty much everything that I've bought. Obviously, that won't include the aluminium. I got the aluminium from my local supplier. So yeah, just pretty much everything that's to do with lights, water tank, pump, all that good stuff, I will link down below. So another thing that no one has really asked about, but I'm just going to cover it anyway in case someone does ask. This is the reversing camera. So I didn't get anyone to properly set it up. I kind of just made an aluminium bracket for the camera to be mounted to, and it's pretty close. Like when it comes up on the screen inside the car, the red bar is pretty much where the tow ball is. Now, all that I need to see is make sure there's no kids or my kid behind me and see how close I am to whatever is in my way. All right, so as we wheel around the back of the tray here, guys, we'll touch base on the toolboxes. Now, these toolboxes are from Dun & Watson. They are the double tapered toolboxes. I have obviously got the lids powder coated white. There was also a little mod that I did. They do have their logo that they pot rivet to the doors. Now, I'm not a huge fan of people permanently like fixing their logos on their products. I wouldn't mind if it was, just a sticker or whatever, like a nice emblem sticker, like plastic sticker or something. But I really don't like when they permanently fix them to the products. So yeah, as you can see, they are 3mm as well. They are a really nice guard, and you do, pay for what you get from these guys. They are very good at what they do, and that's why I chose to spend the money on getting good quality products. So another question that I had been asked is what I have done with the fuel filler. Now, these obviously in the tubs and stuff, they're all pretty much like in the guard area where it hangs out. When I converted it to the tray, it was like coming out inside. Now you could mount it in there, but I haven't lifted the back of this yet, guys. So this is why, because I was waiting to see what tray I was building, how heavy it was going to end up before I go buying suspension. So I pretty much just made the aluminium bracket that I've nut-serted it to the tray and pretty much twisted the rubber hose to bend it in between the cab and the tray. So it is very solidly mounted there, and the only problem is I don't have a lock on it yet, but no one's softened me fuel yet, so that's a bonus. Now moving on, I can't actually really show you the tank. So the tank is also from Dun & Watson. It's a 65 litre tank. Make sure you don't get the grey water one, get the drinking water one. But yeah, the link for that one will be down in the description as well. So 65 litre water tank, and I got my water pump from Kickass. Now Kickass is a company up the sunny coast. They seem to be doing pretty cheap 12 volt stuff and all that goodness. So obviously it's been, what has it been, 6 months or so that I have had this tank and the pump and been running the tray. No problems have come from it. The pump is running great. So I think I got the 12 litres per minute pump. Now that's got a lot of pressure. So it's up to you what you want to use it for. But like, I'm pretty sure you can somehow turn them down, but I haven't yet. So these pretty much have the pressure of your standard house hose at home. So if you want to downgrade it from the 12 litre one, it would probably be plenty enough, because the 12 litre one just absolutely rips. Now, as we come down here, guys, this is my setup for what I've done to fill and take the water out, obviously, from the tank. So the tanks do come with their own back plug to drain it fully, but I haven't really had to. Well, I lie, I have before, because I actually can't get through 65 litres of water just for using it at work and stuff. So last time I went camping, I actually drained all the water out and put fresh stuff in, because obviously you don't really want to be drinking water that's been sitting there for months, especially when it starts to heat up and everything. I don't want to be on the drinking side of that water. So yeah, just remember to empty them if it's been a while and fill it up with some fresh stuff. You'll thank me later. Also, I can't really get the camera in there. All these back fittings are also from Bunnings, so I'll try and put them in the description below. If not, just go for a walk in Bunnings. I'm pretty sure I got it all from like the gardening section. So you just go in there and pretty much use your imagination on how you're going to mount it, because that's what I did. And just hopefully with what I've shown you here, you'll be able to find what I used. And yeah, but if I could find them, they'll be in the description. So also just above the tap filler breather section, just here, I've got it taped up, but I drilled a hole and put a wire through there. So that basically goes in, comes out down here. So that will be the button. I've bought a LED like halo button. So when I get the canopy, the pump will actually switch on from here. Though I'll probably make an extra safety thing like inside the canopy, so you can't just press this and just use it straight away. Probably make just like a isolator inside, so if I know that I'm not using it, I'll switch it off so no one can just come along and press it and use all the water. Another big question I got about building this tray was how I got the mounting points to go to the chassis and stuff. So obviously I ran through how long and wide the tray is. You can do whatever you want. Like obviously the longer the tray you go, the more risk you have of like bending chassis and stuff and all that goodness. It depends what car you have. Tritons are pretty known to have the chassis brake on them. So that's another reason why I went so short with the tray. There's less risk of the chassis bending. Obviously the more weight you have over the back wheels, the more pressure is up the front. So I pretty much got my level. It doesn't have to be an 1800 level. A 1200 level will probably be good, or even a straight piece of metal with just your little magnet levels, whatever you got laying around to get you by. Obviously you don't need all the fancy tools like I have to try and get measurements off stuff. So what I did was pretty much I had the tray off, so it's going to be a bit hard to show you, but I pretty much put the level against the back window and plumbed down and measured off the bottom, obviously from like hooked on to the level, and measured back to the mounting point. So that obviously gave me from pretty much exact the back of the cab to the mounting points. All right, so once you've got your level, you're all plumb, and you got your measurements to your first, second, third mount, whatever mounts you got, to get the measurement where the tray mounts go, you obviously need to minus your 50 mil or whatever you want to do. I did 50 mil, so it creates the gap between the cab and the tray. Because if you're gonna leave it, like if you plumb down, hook on, and you get your first measurement to your mount and you just do that, your tray is pretty much going to be touching your cab, and it won't be fun trying to get it on, and you're going to get very frustrated. So don't skip this step. Always make sure you minus that 50 mil or whatever you want to make it, so you get that gap in between your tray. Hopefully I'm explaining this pretty good, guys. It's a bit hard to show you how I did it, obviously with the tray on, but hopefully I'm doing pretty good at explaining it. So once you got your first measurement to your first mount, you can pretty much measure from your first mount, center of your first mount, to your second and third or whatever mounts are there to get the other mounts. Now this was a bit of a pain in the ass with the Hiluxes. For some reason the front mount is sitting on top of the chassis, and then the two back mounts are to the side. Now, as I think of it as well, 1775, the width of the tray that I made it, if possible, try and make it 1800 if you're going to go with these guards and these toolboxes, because as the two back brackets at the back of the tray come out, they've kind of got like a slope that kicks out sideways of the tray, and they've got this little tab. I'm not sure what the tab's for, if it's like for a genuine Toyota tray or if it's just like a mounting position for machines and stuff when the cars are getting made. But I actually had to modify and cut that little tab off. Now it's not much, it's not where the tray actually gets fixed to, well, like where I fix my tray to, the actual holes, it's next to it. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was for, but I ended up having to chop it off to get these toolboxes to fit. Now, being that 1775 wide, do highly encourage you to make it that 1800 minimum, because the guards are also very close to the tray mounting points, and if you got that any smaller or whatever, you would come across some major headaches in building this tray. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know that, because I know it gave me a few headaches, and I actually had to move some of the mounts like in the first stages of planning and stuff. So yeah, hopefully I tell you now, and it will save you all the drama later on when you're building your tray. Another hot tip while I remember it is grinding. When you're building the tray and using a flapper disc, try and grind off as much but as minimal as possible, if that makes sense. So obviously when you're welding, your weld is higher than the material around it. So as you're grinding down, you want to get as close to the height as the material around it that you're welding as possible without going too deep. Now, I was just, trying to rush. Doing this tray did take a while, and with the incidents in between, I was trying to get the videos out for you guys. So I did rush it a little bit, and I did grind the welds down a little bit too much. I did use the orbital sander to try and to smooth it out, and I thought it would have been fine. But the paint that I chose, like the glossy-ish finish that I chose, it does show a little bit of the, little bit indented in certain lights and everything. But you live and you learn, guys. I'm still freaking stoked about how this tray turned out. But yeah, I just thought I'd share the tips with you to save you from all the headaches later on. Righto, so another question that I got asked a bit, which I was surprised about, was the welders that I use. So I have got the SIG Weld, MIG and TIG machines. So pretty much the MIG that I have is the Weld Skill 185. Now this is just a MIG. It can do DC TIG. Now that's another thing that a lot of you guys don't understand, and I didn't at the start either, is when you're looking for a welder, when I bought this welder, I wanted to eventually do TIG, but I didn't know that to do aluminium, you actually have to have an AC/DC machine. Now, obviously I'm not a professional welder, so I didn't know this when I first started learning about welding and how to weld and about all different welders. So this one here is a bloody great MIG machine, and it has obviously done a few projects for me. Now, with the whole AC/DC thing, that's only really for TIG. This welder, you can buy the attachment for it, for this like welding aluminium. It's called a spool gun. It is a SIG weld spool gun as well. So this here is the attachment that I was just talking about. It is called a spool gun. Now, this is obviously a SIG weld brand. Well, it's an ESAB brand. But yeah, this goes with the MIG machine, so you can weld aluminium. Now, obviously, using this, it is not as nice of a weld as a TIG is. So just be mindful of that, guys. You can weld aluminium with a MIG welder if you have this gun, but it will not be a nice weld. So pretty much the idea behind this is you feed your aluminium, your small roll of aluminium in here, so it cuts out the feeding of the aluminium wire through your hose, through your lead on the machine, because aluminium is so easy to bend and stuff. When it's running through the hose of your MIG welder, it tends to like kink up and bend. So buying one of these, it cuts out going through the holes. It's direct feed from here straight out. So yeah, if you really want to get some MIG practice or whatever, like if you're building a tray, you can pretty much use one of these. You're just going to have to grind down all the shitty welds that you do, which I pretty much did on most of this anyway, so it doesn't matter. There are TIG welds that I did leave that looked nice and everything, but if you can't TIG weld and you just want to MIG, learn about spool guns and everything, and you can just grind down the rest and make it all look good anyway. Now, as I was saying before, this Weld Skill 185 is a great machine. If I had the choice now to, like if I had to upgrade welders, I would probably go with Unimig. They seem to be bringing out much more, you know, advanced stuff and more to do with TIG, especially if you're buying the TIG machines. They've got much nicer consumables, like with your TIG cups and stuff. They're bringing out like glass cups that you can just buy from Total Tools or Sydney Tools or whatever. So if I was to upgrade machines, I'll definitely go with the Unimig. Now, don't let me put you off buying a SIG Weld. As I said, they are a great machine. But for like the level that I'm at now, if I was to upgrade, it would probably be a Unimig. If not something even better, maybe one of the American brands like Everlast or something. But yeah, just get what you can afford, guys. Obviously, as I said, you can MIG weld aluminium with this welder. Alright, so moving on to the TIG welder. Now, this is the machine that I have practiced on, guys. As I said before, your practice makes perfect with these TIG welders. Now, this machine has also been great. It is the 205 AC/DC, also by SIG Weld. I have upgraded my cups to all glass cups now, so you don't need that straight away, but they are nice. Obviously, this isn't a video about how to weld or anything, so if you do want to learn how to weld, there are really good welding channels on there. Pacific Arc TIG Welding is one. He's a Canadian dude, and I really liked and learnt a lot from him. But yeah, this welder has been great. Now, little tip for you guys. This is the torch that you get when you buy this welder. Now, it is a flex head, and the problem with that, if you did watch the welding videos on building the tray, as I was, for some reason I must have like bent this head too many times or too many different weird ways or something, and it wasn't that old before it actually started to crack, and I didn't even realize only when I was welding the tray. And you will see it if you did see it in the videos. This thing actually blew up on me. So what had happened was, I think it was from moving it too much, it started to form a crack. And then one day, obviously I just moved it that bit too much, and what there is copper wire running through here. and that copper wire must have just split, which caused like a short, and it pretty much like the whole thing blew up and almost caught fire on me. So I did have to buy one of these. So just be careful with these flex heads. I'm not sure if it's like every flex head from any welder or if it's just this one, but just watch how much you bend and move this around. I'd probably just recommend moving it up and down, but not twisting it side to side all the time. I think that's what damaged it. But other than that, this 205 AC/DC machine is a great machine. Now, this machine is a 15 amp plug, so I didn't realize that when I first bought this machine. So I thought that I had to upgrade my electricity and everything in the shed. Now, luckily I didn't. Now, I don't recommend this next part to everyone. I ended up getting a lead and changing the plug on one end to a 15 amp from a 10 amp that plugs into your wall. Now, obviously, me doing this, if SigWeld ever watched this, it would probably void the warranty if this welder ever did shit itself. So I'm just letting you know, guys, that will void your warranty. But I haven't had any drama with tripping power or blowing anything up doing it. So don't do it if you don't feel comfortable. I'm not telling you to do it, nor do I recommend doing it. That's just what I did. So yeah, do what you please with that information. Now, this TIG welder does come with the foot pedal, and obviously you can use the trigger on the torch as well. I use both. You can obviously control the TIG welder better with the foot pedal, but pretty much the whole tray build video with all the awkward positions I was in and stuff, I did mostly use the torch. So yeah, that's pretty much the welders that I use, guys. They are great and they're really good on this stand which I made. You can obviously look these up on how to make these. I kind of custom made this stand to suit what I was doing, and yeah, so that's pretty much it on the welders. Righto, now we're getting to the back end of this video, guys. So tray build price. This is the most asked question that I have had about this tray. So I've got a list on my phone adding up everything. Now this was the price obviously 7-8 months ago when I started it, whatever it was. So I'm not sure what the prices of aluminium are now. They've obviously changed, or may not have, may have stayed the same. I'm not sure. So the price of the guards were $355 when I got them from Dun & Watson. Now, I haven't checked obviously what they are now. This is just what I paid for them. So whatever the price they are now is what they are. So $355 for the guards. Toolboxes, meaning the under tray toolboxes here, the double tapered toolbox, they were $1,380 when I got them. So they are pretty expensive, but my mindset was I wanted to spend money on nicer toolboxes and nicer things because I'm saving money on doing it myself and not paying someone to do it. So that is why I paid so much for the toolboxes. Aluminium, that pretty much aluminium, everything except the guards and toolboxes for this tray build. Aluminium, the price at the time was $1,259.91. So that was the sheet alley, everything. So it's pretty funny that these toolboxes actually cost me more than the material to build this whole tray, which is pretty ridiculous, I think. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you get people to make you nice things. Moving on to the water tank. I paid $264.04 for the water tank. As I said, that was also from Dun & Watson. Link in the description down below for that. So yeah, $264 for the tank. Water pump was $108.59 from Kick-Ass. Yeah, that's a great water pump and I would recommend it to anyone. As I said before, the 12 litres per minute is a bit much, but I kind of like it. Depends how much water you want to waste. Bolts were $100. That's kind of the receipts that I had. They might have been a tiny bit more, kind of might have been a tiny bit less. Now obviously it was the bolts to, bolt the toolboxes and guards on. Everything to do with the guards and toolboxes, bolting them on, I used a nutsert gun. So obviously you would have seen the videos. If you haven't watched them, go and watch them, see how I did it. So yeah, bolts, $100. Gas for welding, I kind of worked it out to be around $320 of welding gas. That was obviously, that's just me getting it from like Bunnings. I've got a mix of like a Bunnings gas bottle and Total Tools gas bottle. You can get it from either, and obviously depends on the price of gas at the time. But yeah, I paid $320 for the gas. Welding rods. Welding rods were around $90 worth of welding rods that I used, that somehow I came to that figure in my head, or receipts or whatever. So yeah, $90 for welding rods. Sanding discs, about 30 bucks. I think that's around 3 sanding discs, depends what grit and size you get. But yeah, around $30 for sanding discs. Water hose. Now this is pretty surprising. Water hose was about $60. Obviously, it's not just your standard hose from your backyard to water your bloody garden with. Don't use that shit. It'll make you feel sick when you drink out of it. I got food grade hose. It's all from Bunnings, so go to Bunnings, go get some food grade hose, save your guts. Tail lights. So the tail lights, I'm pretty sure this includes the wiring harness, which I didn't get straight away, were $454.05. Now they are pretty expensive tail lights, but as I said, I would rather pay for a good set of tail lights that are gonna last rather than cheap ones off eBay, because I'm saving a lot of money doing it all myself. Powder coating. Powder coating for this whole tray, the whole tray and the different colored doors, were $1,200. I got this tray powder coated at Caboolture Powder Coaters. They done a pretty good job. I am going back there for future stuff, so I would recommend them to you guys, but if you find someone local that does it cheaper or whatever, go with them. It doesn't really matter. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. They didn't pay me to say this. I'm just, saying what I think. And then I've got pretty much put down here miscellaneous for the tray, like anything that I didn't cover, may have missed, like hose clamps and stuff. Pretty much chucked down $100 for it. So the end total cost for this whole tray, obviously not including this toolbox for my tools, was $5,721.59. So yeah, this tray was under $6,000. So I'm not sure how much this tray would be to get someone to make it, but I kind of have a feeling it'd be around or north of $10,000. Now, you are saving yourself a lot of money, which I did, which helps me put it towards other things, other projects, well, other car stuff to make videos for you guys. So I saved myself a lot of money. You can too, and it's all practice. You don't have to do an aluminium tray like I did. You can buy yourself a MIG welder and do a steel one. It was just that I really wanted an alley tray for the weight. So when I put a canopy on it, I don't go over GBM as easy, and I can put more stuff in the canopy and not be worried about it. But if you're not doing a canopy and you just want a tray that looks like this one, that's steel, you can do it for way cheaper than the price that I did this for. So just weigh up your pros and cons and what you want to do in the future, and that'll get you started on what way and what type of tray you want to build, whether it be metal or aluminium. So there you go, guys. I hope that answered a lot of your questions. I did have them written down, but I may have missed some. Hopefully that's everything and explains pretty much what's happened and why everything has happened and how much the tray was, and hope yous are all caught up now. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, press the like button. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one shortly.